get some, pick up some fence boards from the lumber yard here. My voice has been kind of sore when I'm waking up. I think it's getting kind of dry in the house with the heat and everything. But nice and foggy out today, by the way. But so yeah, just video for the start of the year, and just want to talk about kind of off topic from, you know, showing you some stuff out in the woods or in the shop or whatever. But just things I'm thinking about at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this. But so I work multiple jobs right now. I started my own business a couple years back. I invented a cart that's used like in a farm, in a barn, for hauling muck buckets around. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. I'll put in a little kind of picture of it up here.
And for those of you listening, this is a picture of the cart. Your audio is not
in the video, but it's basically a cart used for hauling muck buckets around that we use in the horse barns. So I started a business a couple of years ago selling that thing. And starting a business, and I do everything. You know, I've done the website, I've done the website, I make the carts, you know what I'm saying? I get the steel, I cut it up, I weld it, I drill it, I paint it, I package it, I send it out, you know, I pay the bills, I get the payments from everything, and you know, that's what I do here. We got someone broke down on the road here. I'm gonna hop out and just see if he needs anything. Let me see if this guy needs something. Okay, well, that was weird. Oh, there he goes. All right. Okay, interesting. Trying to get his attention to see if he was good, and he was just looking down at his phone. So he's moving now. I think he was just pulled over to text or whatever. But so where was I? Yeah. So okay. So I invented this cart. Cool deal. All that. I'm not trying to make an advertisement for. It's not the point of this video. The point of this video is running a business. Starting your own business is. It's not as. Some of you might look at that and be like, wow, you know, you invented that thing. A bunch of people are going to use it. All you have to, you know, it's just, you know, that's your ticket right there. Well, and I'm saying that because that's kind of what I thought, you know. It's like, man, I've invented this thing. This is crazy. I'm not going to know what to do with myself. I'm going to have, you know, so many thousands of these I'm going to make. You know what I mean? That I'm not gonna, it's gonna be crazy. Well, I come to find out I start selling them and it's not exactly like that. And I won't go too far into the exact details because I'm just trying to make this whole story relatable. But you start selling stuff and you realize, for one, marketing is a huge part of business. I mean, that may be obvious to some. I knew it was, you know, of course, I think most people probably know that or can recognize that. But I will say, underestimated how much marketing plays a role in business. Meaning, I have this product, I have no competitors. It's a completely new thing. And it's just like people don't magically know about something. And the same thing with any business you have. People don't just magically know about your business. You know what I'm saying? So if you are starting a business, being an online thing, same thing goes for a YouTube channel or whatever even. And all this stuff, it's all about exposure, and, you know, people don't just know about something because it exists now. They got to find out about it. So, you know, and for the past couple of years, it's kind of been a word of mouth thing, which has been cool because the more I sell, as people spread it around, they see someone using it at their barn, they're like, oh, where'd you get that? And it kind of goes like that so far. And that's without, I'm not really putting anything into marketing so far, which brings me where I am today. My business, I've got vendors that are selling my stuff. I'm in 3 pretty big websites selling my stuff. And in the first 2 years of business, going into the 3rd year now, I'll tell you what, you don't really see, at least me personally, didn't see much profit. And I'll tell you what that partly is from. 1, underpricing, okay? I will admit to that right away. And that's part of a personal issue I have, just because maybe undervaluing my work, and that's kind of an issue that I've seen where when you learn to do so many things, I don't know, sometimes my mindset is like, God, I can knock this out in 5 minutes. I hate to charge someone this much money, and so that's just the thing I have to work out with myself. And so selling and couple that with you're selling the carts, and these cart things that I invented, you start selling those and you're like, oh, I want to sell more of them, price them lower. Well, that doesn't really affect sales. You know what does affect sales? I lowered the price way too much, where I was probably paying literally to make them at first. But it's not lowering your price isn't just gonna magically make people buy your stuff. Okay, it's I made a nice video of the thing and put that out there, and then the sales came in, and then guess what? I raised my price so I could at least make a little money, which is the goal. And guess what? Didn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to charge what you have to charge for things. It's like sometimes I think you can get wrapped up, and especially with the internet, with the comments, people are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're charging this much, and just exclamatory remarks at a price of something. And it's like, things cost what they cost. Especially, it's hard now because in this past, over 2022, things have gone up with inflation so much. So it's costing me almost $30 more, just the cost of my product, with everything going up from the paint, the packaging, everything has gone up so much. It's almost cost me about $25 to $30 more, just the cost of the thing. So that's reflected on price and everything. And then it's like selling through the vendors. You got to raise your price to the vendors. You got to have a markup. They have to be selling enough so that I can supply them to vendors, and at a price where I can afford to do it, and then they can afford to make their margin that they need to make on it. You know what I'm saying? And then these first 2 years of business, I'd say what I've learned is, like I said, underpricing. And so I'm gonna have to reevaluate that, and that's going through my numbers, saying this is how much I'm selling right now, and this is how much I need to be making. So am I going to either raise my prices, or am I going to try and increase my volume? Because like I said, right now I'm not investing a lot in marketing, so I could get more business if I did the work. But now here's the issue is, so right now I work I guess technically 3 jobs, right? Some other little side gigs kind of on the side as well. So like right now, my day starts out, I go to the barn, I get things going there. If I have a project at the barn, I spend more time there. I've been working at that barn for 7 years now. So I go there, and depending on what needs done, I get that done. If the guy that we got a guy there that does the stalls, if he needs to take off, I'll do the stalls there. I help just kind of whatever needs done is what I do there. So my day starts out at the barn, and from the barn I go to my next job, which is I work at a welding shop, welding up bollards, basically. So it's a simple thing to weld, but it's a job where I can basically the time I work is flexible. I can work as late as I want. If I don't get there until, let's say, 2 o'clock because I'm busy at the barn, then I'll work till 7 or whatever, to make up for it. And basically, just as projects come in, I'll just work it out and get them done. When the deadline is there, I just get it done. And the guy I work for there is a great guy. He's a great boss. All my bosses that I work for, the owners of these companies and these barns are great. They're very flexible, and also, when they have deadlines, I meet the deadlines, and that allows you for flexibility. Okay, so when you start, if you are reliable and you get things done, and in emergencies they can call on you and say, this is crazy, we need to pull this out, is it possible, and you can make it happen, then you get flexibility, right? And then when there are those days where I'd like to do this or do that, it's no problem, because they know you're going to be there for them and help them get their stuff done. And then guess what? The compensation follows. You see a little extra, on your checks here and there. And, I mean, if you really do go above and beyond, and I'm not even saying, not even that necessarily. If you are just reliable and someone can count on you, and then every once in a while, when something is going wrong, then you can, you pull it out, you pull out all the stops, and you get something done for them. It's going to, it's going to reflect in the long run. Sometimes it'll be, a longer road or a longer journey, but ultimately it is going to pay off. Maybe you'll get your tank filled up. Maybe you'll get an extra $100 on your check. Maybe you'll get whatever. I fully believe, or maybe you just build up a relationship which years later comes to help you down the line, building that network of someone who trusts you, knows you're reliable, and appreciates that you know what I'm saying? Like you put out for them when they needed it. And some people, some people are like, hey, I clock in when I'm off the clock, I'll clock in and I'll work, and don't ask me to do something that's not my job. That's fine. I'm not gonna, whatever, you make a living how you want. Me personally, I'd rather do more, and I'd rather feel, I don't know, I've never felt that way, honestly, though, by going a little bit above and beyond, or doing that little extra. I've never felt that I haven't been treated fairly in the long run. And that's, maybe I've worked for good people, but I've worked for a lot of jobs, and I've been the same in all my jobs. I've never been fired from a job, and most of my jobs I've been asked to come back and work. I mean, from when I worked in a pizza place, right out of high school, I left that to go do electrical, working for my uncle, wiring houses. And the owner of the pizza shop used to have me come in and work, and just pay me cash to work the Friday and Saturday night rush. So, I don't know. It makes me feel good. I'm not, I hope I'm not coming off some certain way. I'm just talking about my, working and how I think about all this stuff. So, I feel like I'm getting kind of off track here. But my point was, I work with people who allow me to be flexible because when it's crunch time, I make it happen. And yeah, I work a little extra sometimes. Yeah, I work a little late sometimes. But you know, personally, it all has come back to it's all paid off in the long run, you know. So that's my mindset, and that's probably the way I'm gonna be. And I don't know, there's much talking me out of that. But I do have to decide. So here's my ultimate thing: is I've started my business, and my business is, I would honestly say, been third in line as far as these 3 jobs I'm working. You know, my business being the 3rd job. I've kind of made my business has just become 3rd in line. So now it's like, and this is where the risks are involved in starting a business, is at some point I'm going to have to decide, am I just going to keep doing this business and then going home at 7 o'clock, you know, from my other 2 jobs, and then welding out in my shop until 9 o'clock, you know, and crunching it out some weeks? Or am I going to take my business and say, I need to put this first and get more business and do that? So it's a leap, you know what I'm saying? It's a leap I'm going to have to take, and that's something that I would like to figure out this year, because I'm going into the 3rd year of business. So, you know, I should finally start to feel some profits turning, because right now, you know, you're working with a retailer, you're going to be paid on net 30 terms, which means they sell a product today and you're going to get paid, you're going to ship it out to their customer if you're doing a drop shipping thing, which means someone goes on their website, buys one of my carts, and they send me basically their address, and I send a cart out to their customer, right? So the what was I saying? The oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought here. Keeping up with that, I think, is what I was saying. I mean, and keeping up with that is, you know, am I going to? Am I just going to keep doing that? Okay. Am I gonna keep it just going, getting the sales from the vendors, some sales from my website? And what am I going to do? I'd like to add a product to my website, you know, another little something for the barn. And I'm also going to come up with I got some products that I'm working for and these are stuff that I'm making, okay, for this channel as well. Some outdoor products, some canvas products, some stuff like that I'm going to be working on and hopefully adding. So that's all plans for the year, but it's like at some point you got to take the leap and say, okay, I've got to invest the time, which means, you know, you're just going to have to hope that you do make the money that you need to make to keep, you know, paying your bills and move on. So I just got to kind of, that's what my goal is this year. Oh, that's what I was saying. Okay, sorry. This is the 3rd year I was saying, so I'll be hopefully turning some profits now. What I meant by that is, when I'm selling for a vendor, where, like I said, I get an order and I basically just drop ship. I'm shipping my product directly to their customer. Their customer goes to the website, they order, and the website sends me that customer's address, and then I get paid for that 30 days later. You understand? Okay, so, you know, when you're first starting the business, so if today I sell off all my inventory, I'm not getting paid for that for 30 days. It's net 30 terms, which means now I need more inventory, so that's coming out of my pocket, right? And that's a cycle that you're going to be kind of stuck in for a while if you're trying to, and you know, I didn't get a loan to start this business. I'm doing it all from cash, which is another thing I'm going to be evaluating. Do I want to get a loan? Do I want to take the business to the next step? I had to get a small loan to buy some inventory, like a year into the business. But nothing I would say that made a major dent. I mean, we're talking about like a couple $1,000s, not like, you know, $150,000 business loan or whatever. I'm trying to build this from the ground up, from scratch. You know, like in the old. There's this book by Louis L'Amour that it always pops in my head, and it was about this guy who I forget the whole story, but I just remember this specific part where it's like some railroad people were trying to come in and take this guy's land and just buy him out. He didn't want to be bought out because he started a thing from scratch. He got a few. He got he just started a small herd and grew it naturally. He didn't take out a big loan and buy 150 head or whatever. He started out with 2 or 3 and put in the time and effort and built it up over years to have himself a pretty good little herd. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this thing. But it's just something you got to evaluate, because that makes it harder to fund the business if you don't have a whole bunch of cash in the bank, which is not my situation. I do not have a whole bunch of cash in the bank. So I definitely have less cash in the bank than what I started with, I'll tell you what. So it starts to feel like you're just a life support for a business in the first couple of years. It's tough. Because like I said, a lot of your money is being paid out of pocket, and it can be tough. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I think the thing that I invented, I get messages from people telling me how much it helps them out. My back's been hurting. I'm older and I can't lift these things up anymore, and this has helped me. I clean my horse's stall now more just because I didn't want to drag those buckets around, stuff like that. So that helps keep me going. That I am making a difference in a lot of people's lives, and that that honestly really keeps me going. I get really nice messages from people, and so that definitely helps with this business. Now, if it might be, it might be harder to keep that up if I'm selling, fidget spinners or whatever. So I don't know, but so that's kind of just my rambling about, I guess, starting a business, the challenges, working a bunch of jobs. Maybe you guys can relate. I'm not a guy that can just work one job and go in at 9, leave at 5. And I'm not saying that is a good quality in myself. I'm not saying that is a good quality. I'm just saying that's how I am, and when I really face the fact that's how I'm probably gonna be forever, I'm just that way. So anyways, I'm about to pull up to the lumberyard here. I'm picking up some fence boards to bring down to the barn. Just working one of my jobs. So I'm gonna hop off here now, guys, and thanks for coming. We got some cool videos coming up. I just picked up a kayak, so we'll be I've got some videos I'm gonna be putting out of I got one of those Tuck Tech fold-up kayaks, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna be paddling out with some gear, camping on some pretty cool spots, trying some stuff out, as well as some more stuff in the shop, and showing you guys how I do stuff, and maybe how to do some stuff around the farm, and some basic kind of skills videos. Just I know there's a lot of people out there that want to learn, and I'll do what I can to help people learn. So thank you for watching, everyone. Happy New Year, all that, and I hope you all have a great year.